What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Pugilism, aka MKO Boxing, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow me on TikTok, all that good stuff. So, right now, we're just going to talk about a bit of breaking news, which is to do with the last crescendo card, headlined by the rematch of Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. You know, you're talking about roughly 48 hours from now, or give or take, and we heard news today that Daniel Dubois has had to pull out of his fight with Joseph Parker, and that was a big disappointment for the fans because that was the chief support. Joe Parker, Daniel Dubois. I was really looking forward to that fight. I felt Daniel Dubois would win that fight going into it, but according to what they're saying this evening, Daniel Dubois, he's been taken ill. He was being sort of checked out by doctors as the final press conference was going on this evening. So he was being checked out. They didn't really know. Even by the end of the press conference, they were talking about making calls. And it's funny because this evening I was told about this, by my brother-in-law, and he said, "Oh, can you believe this? Daniel Dubois has been pulled out," and I was upset about it, and I immediately sort of text back and said to my brother-in-law, like, look, what they should do is not Daniel Dubois. They should just chuck Martin Bakole in there with Joe Parker because Martin Bakole, he's a guy that says he has gloves, will travel. He's a guy that's been claiming to basically bash everyone up in sparring, and he's stopped Usyk in sparring. He's beaten up Joshua. He's beaten up Joyce. He's beaten everybody in sparring, and him and his camp. They've always got a lot to say, and that's good on them. So I said, that would be the best. Chuck Martin Bakole in, and when I said it, I didn't really believe there was any reality to it. I didn't think that it was even a possibility, but come to find out about less than an hour later that Martin Bakole is indeed ready to travel, is indeed ready to go to Saudi, and he apparently, according to Ben Shalom, Frank Warren, all the guys out there, Martin Bakole, as soon as they heard, Dubois dropped out sick, they were on the phone to Ben Shalom. I think Billy Nelson's already been doing interviews tonight, this evening, saying, look, Martin will go, Martin will travel, Martin will have him, blah, blah, blah. And they're packed and ready to go, and etc., etc. So that's the news, ladies and gents. We're going to have Martin Bakole stepping in to replace Daniel Dubois, or Dynamite Daniel Dubois. And for me, I must say, as a fan, I'm ecstatic. I'm over the moon because at the end of the day, I didn't want to have Joe Parker in there with a knockover job. I wanted to see Joe Parker still in there with a good challenger, with a good fighter. And you're not really going to get anyone better than Martin Bakole, especially not at this notice. As far as predictions, as far as what I think will happen in this fight, for me personally, I think you've got to, just based on the notice, based on who was in training camp, you've got to go with Joseph Parker as at least a slight favourite here, because Martin Bakole, obviously, he was at the beginning stages, I assume, preparing for a fight against a Jagbar, but and he's a guy that's always in the gym. But with Joe Parker will now be peaking. Joe Parker is in his peak physical shape right now, and ready to do a job on Saturday. So yeah, that's the big news. It's great news, for me, for all of us as fans, because at first when I heard about Dubois, disappointed for Parker. He loses that opportunity to fight for a title. But now, hearing that Martin Bakole comes in as the replacement, I'm happy. I'm happy. That's as a fight, that's a perfect fight to replace it. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. It's now going to be Joseph Parker versus Martin Bakole. Dubois is out due to illness. Let me know your thoughts, and until next time, it's MKO Boxing, over and out.